Hey foodies, thanks for watching. It's apricot season and I love buying fresh produce and fruits. And I can't wait to sink my teeth into this French apricot tart. But before I get into the apricots, I need to make my pastry. And I'm gonna start by putting in all my butter, and I need really cold butter for this. And I'm gonna put my sugar in, and my flour. Oh, a little bit more flour. There we go. My eggs, and a little pinch of salt. At this point, if you want to add a little bit of vanilla, you can do that, but this is just a basic sweet pastry recipe. And we're gonna mix this up until it all comes together. It's coming, it's coming. It's almost at the tipping point. It's absolutely amazing. I put it all into the bowl and I start mixing it, and it's just the crumbs and everything, and it just sits there for the longest time. Now I'm talking like 90 seconds. It's not that long of a time. And then all of a sudden it just pulls together and it comes out with this beautiful, beautiful pastry. I can't get over how great this looks. Now, if it's a really hot day or your kitchen is too warm, you might consider letting this rest in the fridge for about 20 minutes or so. I would just wrap it up with some cling film and then just let it rest and set up. But I think I'm pretty good right now. I'm going to use a little bit of flour. And I'm not going to touch my pastry that much because I want it to really roll out nicely, and I don't want the butter to melt much more. Oh, that's beautiful. But it might need, no, it looks good. There. And a little bit more flour here. I was just about to say my pastry might need to go in the fridge, but I think I'm good. So I'm rolling this out to about 3 millimeters or just under 1/4 inch thick. And I've got, let me move my mixer. I don't need my mixer right now. And I've got a pie plate with a removable bottom. And I'm going to roll this up. And it's okay that some parts have lifted. And then I'm just going to unroll that back onto the shell. There we go. Look at that. I'm just going to help it tuck it into each little crevice and corner. And if you like a really thick crust, then by all means go just a little bit on the thicker side. But I find when it's this size, it's a really nice size for me. And then a little trick for you to get a perfect edge, you just take your rolling pin, you roll it across the edge. And look at that, you've got a beautiful pastry shell. Whew. So I am going to set this aside, and I'm going to wrap it with plastic wrap, and I can use it for like butter tarts or something like that. But for now, we are going, I don't need that bowl right now, to mix our apricots with a little bit of sugar. I find apricots are just a little bit on the tart side, so that's why I'm adding just a little bit of sugar. And then I've got some apricot jam that I made. Oh, it smells so good. I can't wait. And I'm just going to mix this in just to give it a little bit more sweetness and a little bit more texture. There we go. And then I am just going to use my hands and just stir it up I'm not too worried that the jam isn't breaking up too much, because when it heats, it's going to melt and it's going to create this nice, beautiful glaze, which is exactly what you want. So just stirring that up. There we go. And then this, I think we need to do something pretty. Let's see. I'm just going to go, because after all, it is a French apricot tart, so it should look rather fancy. Let's see if I can lift that up. There we go. I've got a few extra. That looks really nice, and I'll see if I can tuck that one in there, that one in there, and let's put that one in there. And I'm just going to sprinkle the last of the sugar right on the top to give it a bit of a glaze. There we go. Oh, look at that. It looks so nice so far. Okay, and then lastly, I want to take some of this jam. I'll just use it all. And a little bit of water. And a pastry brush. And I'm just going to mash this up. Move that out of the way, just so we can get a bit more. There, viewing. There we go. Look at that. And I'm just basically making a slurry of the jam. And I'm going to do this twice. I'm going to brush this on the top. Just like so. And I'm using about half of the jam water mixture. I'm going to retain the other half of this for the end of the bake, so it can have a really nice sheen on it. But in the meantime, this is going to go into a preheated oven of 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 175 degrees Celsius for about 15 to 20 minutes, or until it's golden brown. I'm going to put this on a tray because it has a removable bottom. I don't want it to ooze and drip everywhere. So I'm going to just put it on a tray and pop it in. This looks wonderful. I can't get over just how great it is. I'll be honest, when I was mixing up the apricots and the sugar, I was like, this is way too dry. It's not going to be moist enough, and it's just moist and yummy looking. I missed an ingredient, a key ingredient. When I was adding the sugar to the apricots, I needed to add some cornstarch. So don't forget to add some cornstarch. I managed to save this, which I'm so thankful for because it looks so good. And it took about 30 minutes in my oven. I did end up covering it with some tin foil because I was noticing it at the 20-minute mark that it was starting to get a bit brown, and I thought, you know what, I don't want it to burn. So I just covered it with some tin foil lightly, and I let it finish until it was just bubbling throughout the pie, and I'm like, that's perfect. I pulled it out. It's resting. I can't wait to dig into it. I'm really excited. Local apricots, fresh fruit, you can't beat it. So I've got some fresh whipped cream here, but I'm going to start by slicing into this. Okay. And I don't think it's quite cooled enough, but that's all right. I want to try it because it looks really good. There we go. I'll grab my plate. There we go. Oh, I missed a little piece, but let's see if I can cut that out. Oh, it smells so good. There, I'll put that right there. Oh, I can't wait to get whipped cream on that and see what it's like. Oh, look at that. It looks divine. It looks really good. And it smells really nice. Now I'm gonna give it a try. So I'm starting with more or less just the pastry and the apricots. Oh, that's really nice. It's almost peachy, but it's got that apricot flavor, and it's really subtle. I'm glad I added a little extra sugar, but it's not overly sweet, so I'm really happy with that. I'm gonna add a little bit of whipped cream to my next bite. We'll see how that changes it. That's really nice. If you're looking for the recipe, you can go to glutenfreeguy.ca. You can also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and LinkedIn. You can also watch episodes like this and others on Rogers TV. Look for next week when I'm making this. See you again soon.
French Apricot Tart Part 2.